All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever spent what feels like forever writing an AI prompt, thinking you nailed it, only to get back something, well, kind of useless? Maybe it's generic, maybe it's just wrong. We've all been there, but here's the good news. This is almost always a solvable problem.
So if you're sitting there nodding your head right now, trust me, you are in good company. Getting a vague or unhelpful response from a really powerful AI model feels like such a waste of time. But what if I told you the problem isn't that the AI is broken?
So here's the thing. Most of these frustrating failures really just come down to how we're asking the question. These models are unbelievably capable, but they are not mind readers. The quality of what you get out is almost always a mirror image of the quality of what you put in. And today, we're going to fix that input.
Okay, so to get good at writing prompts, we first have to understand why they go wrong in the first place. And honestly, it really just boils down to two main problems. Once you get these, everything else just kind of clicks into place.
First up, we've got the ambiguity problem. You see, unlike a person, an AI doesn't have our intuition or shared life experiences to fill in the gaps. When you give it a vague instruction, it's not really thinking about what you might want, it's just playing a high-stakes word association game, predicting the next most likely word. Vague prompts give it way too many options, so it plays it safe and gives you a generic answer.
And this isn't a small issue, it's huge. According to research from the folks at OpenAI, a whopping 60 to 70% of all prompt failures are because of ambiguity. Think about that. That's the single biggest thing we can fix to immediately get better results. And the second big problem is what I call the assumption problem. This is where we treat the AI like a coworker who knows all the inside jokes and project history. We just assume it knows about our company, our goals, our audience, or even just the simple format we want the answer in. It knows absolutely none of that unless we spell it out. So now that we know why AIs get so confused, let's look at how these problems actually show up in the real world. We're going to break down the most common mistakes people make with some really clear before and after examples, so you can start spotting and fixing them in your own prompts.
And here it is, the number one offender. Vague instructions are pretty much a guaranteed ticket to a useless response. This happens when we talk to the AI like we talk to a friend, using shortcuts and just assuming it knows what we mean.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. The bad prompt is just write something about marketing. I mean, that could be a million different things, right? So the AI has to guess. But look at the good prompt. It's specific. It says, act as a marketing expert. Write a 500-word blog post for a B2B audience about the benefits of SEO. Include at least 3 data-backed statistics and end with a call to action. There is zero guesswork there.
So what's the secret sauce in that good prompt? Well, first, we assigned it a role, marketing expert, which tells it what kind of knowledge to use. Then, we defined the audience, the word count, and the format. And finally, we gave it a clear goal and told it to include data. Every one of those details makes the output better. All right, let's move on to the next big one, missing context. This is the assumption problem in action. A prompt that doesn't have any background information forces the AI to just make stuff up, and you end up with something that has nothing to do with what you actually need. A bad prompt like, write a sales email, is just going to give you a generic template you could find anywhere online. But the good prompt, that one is a precision tool. It gives all the essential context. We are a SaaS company selling project management software. Write an email to a potential client in the construction industry, highlighting how our tool reduces project delays by 25%. Oh, and mention that we spoke at last month's trade show. See? Every single one of those details helps the AI write something that's actually useful. So, what's the big takeaway here? Context is what turns a generic, boring response into a personalized, effective piece of writing. By telling the AI the customer's specific problem and our specific solution, it can create a message that actually resonates with a real person instead of just getting instantly deleted.
Now this next mistake is a little more subtle, but oh my gosh, it's so important, especially if you're trying to build an application or a workflow. If you don't tell the AI how to structure its answer, you're just going to get a big wall of text that you then have to clean up by hand.
This next example is a total game changer for anyone building things. If you just ask for insights from customer feedback, you get a paragraph. It might be smart, but you can't really do anything with it automatically. But when you specify the format, that's when you unlock automation. The good prompt says, analyze this feedback and give me the output as a JSON object with these exact keys: sentiment, topic, and action items. Bam! Now you have clean, structured data you can actually use.
By defining the exact format you want, you basically transform the AI from just a creative writer into a super reliable data processing engine. This is the secret to building real workflows and creating consistent, useful data from messy, unstructured text.
Okay, so we've looked at all the problems. Now, let's talk about the solution. The best part is there's a simple, repeatable process you can use to debug any prompt and make it way, way better.
Here it is. It's just 4 steps. First, look at the bad output you got and identify the mistake. Was it too vague? Did you forget context? Second, diagnose why. What specific piece of information was missing? Third, apply the fix. Add more detail, give it some background, tell it the format. And finally, and this is key, test and iterate. Make one small change at a time and see how it improves the result.
And I've got a fantastic pro tip to help you with that process. It's called the Explain It to a 5-Year-Old test. Before you hit send on your prompt, just read it out loud. If it sounds confusing or complicated to you, it is guaranteed to be confusing to the AI. Clarity is everything.
So as we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with a little shift in your thinking. Going from a casual user to a real pro at prompting isn't about memorizing a bunch of tricks. It's about changing how you think about talking to an AI.
This is the one idea I want you to take away today. You need to think of yourself less like someone who's just having a chat and more like an engineer who is designing a set of instructions. Your prompt is like a blueprint. Every little detail you add makes the final product more precise, more reliable, and a whole lot more effective.
By getting rid of ambiguity, providing rich context, and being super clear about what you need, you unlock the real power of these amazing tools. And the question stops being, why isn't this working? And it becomes, okay, what am I going to build next?